Hello everybody and welcome back to the series, the PHP series. So far we have explored how PHP handles logic, functions, arrays and forms. But everything we have done has been temporary. Once the page reloads, our data is gone. So now it's time to make your PHP apps dynamic and persistent. And we do that by connecting them to a database. And the most common database used with PHP is MySQL. It is powerful, reliable, and works seamlessly with PHP. So let's integrate the two and take your apps to the next level. So before writing any PHP code, let's make sure your setup is ready. So I have opened up XAMPP and started the Apache server. So this is to run our PHP code on a local server. You know this from our previous videos if you watched them. And this is MySQL. So this will be our database server. And then XAMPP also gives us a platform called a PHP MyAdmin, and it is a visual tool to interact with MySQL easily. So to begin, of course, in your devices, you have to open XAMPP. You have to start both Apache and MySQL, and once they're running, you can write your code. So I'll tell you how to access PHP MyAdmin. Well, I'll just show you right now. You just have to type out localhost /php and then myadmin. When you click enter, this is the UI of your database. So these are your databases: test database, phpMyAdmin, and we'll create a new database right here. But first, let's open our VS Code and our AC docs folder, our previous index php basics folder and index.php. So inside this, we'll write some PHP code to connect a database using MySQLi Connect. So first, let's create a variable called con, and this will stand for connection, and this will equal to this is the method that we run. So MySQLi and underscore connect, and inside the parentheses, first you will write the server name, and because we are running the local host, we'll write localhost. This is your server name, and then your username, and this is the default username in XAMPP. So root is the default username, and then your password, and the default password is set to blank since there is no password. And we'll create in this PHP MyAdmin, that is in our MySQL, we'll create a database called testdb, that stands for test database. So at the end you write the name of the database that you want to connect to, so testdb, and after that we'll end it with a semicolon. Let's just set this aside. Okay, end this with a semicolon, and then we will see if the database connection was successful or not. So this will return a true or false result, right? This connection, this attempt to connect will return a true or false result in con. So we'll say if not true, that is if not con, we will terminate, that is die. This is to terminate the current script immediately. So if our connection fails, we'll use die, and we'll write connection failed, and then a MySQLi connect error. So MySQLi connect and underscore error. So it will print out what error was there. And else, if our connection was successful, that is this die script won't run. So we'll have to echo out connected to the database successfully. Okay, I've made it pretty clear. Okay, this is to connect our database. Once again, this is the server, this is the username, but it is defaulted to root in XAMPP. This is where you put the password, and later this will come in handy if you want to connect a database. So and this is our database name. Now if our connection is not successful, our whole script will terminate with this die, and it will print out a message as to why the connection failed. So that is how the script works. Now let's set up our database in PHP MyAdmin. So in your browser, like I said, you have to go to localhost /php MyAdmin, and this interface will open up, and then you have to click on new. And in our database, as we said, we are going to connect this database testdb, so we'll type out testdb, and then we'll click create. So as you can see, database has been created, right? Now in this test database, let's create some columns. So let's say number of columns is 3 for now, and table name, let's create a table called users create. And now inside this table name, we'll add some fields. First we'll add an ID. The ID will be of an integer type, and we'll set it to, let's see, we'll set its index to primary, since it has to have a primary key, and go. And after that, this stands for auto increment, so we'll tick auto increment since the ID has to increase as items are being added. So after ID, we'll click a name. This will be of the type of varchar, and the length will be 100, and that is pretty much it. We don't need to mess with any other values. So, and after that, we'll enter an email. This will also be varchar and of 100. Yes. So we'll click save, and like that our table has been created. So this is the users table, and this has an ID, a name, and an email as its column values. So great, now we've got a users table ready to store some data. Now let's use PHP to insert new user data into our table. So the connection will be the same, but instead of printing out a message that we have connected to the database successfully, let's comment this out. We will insert a name variable. Let's say the name is Bob, and then we'll insert an email variable. So email equals bob@example.com, and this. And now we will create, I don't know if you're familiar with SQL queries, but basically you can operate and insert data, select data, delete data, all using SQL queries. So it's just like a bit of code that you write into your SQL query section, and SQL will do the work for you. So first of all, we'll create an SQL query inside a string. So SQL, will name it SQL, and give this quotation marks for the string. And SQL queries are written in caps lock, so I'll turn the caps lock on, and insert, first of all, we'll insert into our table name. So insert into is what table are we going to insert it? So into, so we're going to insert into users. So I've named the table users. So insert into users, and what are we going to insert? We're going to insert name and then email. So name and email. And what values are we going to keep in this column? So we're going to insert the values of $name and then $email. So we're going to insert Bob and bob@example.com. So $email. Now after that, so we have written the query, right? But we have not executed it with MySQL yet. So in order to execute this MySQL query, we will use something called MySQLi query. But in order to handle errors, we'll use this inside an if statement. So if MySQLi underscore query. Now first we'll write the name of the connection that we established with our database earlier, since it has to know which database is it connected to. So since it's connected to testDB and we have written this here, we'll write the con, that is connection variable, at first, and after that the query that you want to run. So SQL, we want to run this query, right? Now after that, we'll print out a message if the query was successful. So again, this query will also return a boolean value. So if it was successful, we'll say new user added. Let's put a semicolon. I hope I have not missed any semicolons. Okay, and else we will echo out error first. Error will end the string, and then we'll concatenate MySQLi error underscore error and the database which we have connected to. So that's about it. Now let's load up localhost and our folder name and index.php. Okay, so it does say new user added. So that means this data that we just entered and run a query has been inserted into our users table. So let's refresh and check. So in our users table, we can see that ID is 1, so it is defaulted, it is auto increment as well, so ID is 1 by default, and name we have inserted Bob and bob@example.com. So we have successfully inserted data into our database, all with PHP. So you just created and inserted a user record. And quick note, we're using a raw SQL here, but in projects you'll want to use prepared statements to prevent SQL injection. So we'll cover that in an advanced episode. Now, we have inserted data into our table. Let's fetch the data with select. So the way we will be fetching data or reading data from our table will be by using a select query. So first of all, let's comment all of this out since our username and email has already been inserted. So even if I comment this out, our database won't change since this query has already been run. Now we'll create another query in the same SQL variable, which will, first of all, let's write MySQLi and then first we'll write select. This will be our query. Select star, this means select everything from our table name, that is users. So now we'll run this query in a variable called result. So MySQLi query and then the name of our connection, so con, and then the name of our query. Now this will give us results in rows. Just like we have one row of data here, there can be multiple rows. So suppose, okay, let's comment this. Let's say we have Alice and then alice@example.com. Okay, and if we run this and refresh this, we should have Alice. Okay, suppose we have two rows of data, right? Now what select returns is rows of data, that is rows of information of our database. So we will run on if statement. So if, now we have something called MySQLi underscore num underscore rows. Now what inside this we will write a result which contains the select query. Now what this means is as long as this query, this select star from users query is returning us rows, as long as MySQLi num rows is more than 0, that is it is returning results, that is it is returning these rows, it will execute first of all while, and will store those rows in a variable called row equals. Now we also have something called MySQLi underscore fetch underscore a source and then result. Now what this does is it converts the MySQL rows into associative arrays. So MySQLi fetch rows and it's like saying MySQLi fetch data from MySQL and then convert them into associative arrays. So now we discussed about associative arrays in our previous episodes. It's an array that has a key and value pair. So we will first of all echo our ID and then we'll concat our, first of all, since our $row is now an associative array, we will access its key. We'll access its value by its key. So since we have ID here, we'll type in ID and let's concatenate and let's type out its name as well. So name and then colon space. Then we'll concatenate our name, so name, and we'll repeat the same process with email. So name, and then concatenate our email, and dot, and inside row we will type out our email key, so email. Right now we have closed our while loop, and after that we'll execute our else condition. So else, so this is the condition where no data is returned. That means no data is in the database from our select query. So we'll type out echo no users found. So why I wrote no users found is if there are no rows, if there are no rows more than 0, that means there are no rows at all, right? So yeah, that is how you select data. Now let's close this. So MySQLi underscore close, and close our connection. So this is important if you want to establish another connection to another database. So you have to close your previous connection. Now let's it is on autosave, so we don't have to save. So let's, okay, I think we're missing a semicolon somewhere, so let me just expand this and see. Oh yep, MySQLi fetch a source undefined variable. Huh. Oh, I put in a variable. This should be and the mistake. Okay. Once again, series. Okay, so yeah. First of all, we have ID one name Bob and bob@example.com, and let's also add a br statement here. So br. So yeah, it has fetched our data from our database, Alice and Bob, Bob and Alice. So that is how you can view all of the users directly from your browser. So you've just completed the first major step in building a real-world web application with PHP. We have connected to MySQL, we have created a database and a table, and inserted and retrieved data using PHP. Now in the next episode, we'll not just create and read data, we will update and delete data as well. Now of course, for now you can delete your data and edit your data with here, PHP MyAdmin UI as well. We'll delete this and Bob will be deleted. So, but later on, you can, so we have only Alice remaining, but later on we'll be doing that all with PHP only. So hope you stay tuned for that, and if you liked the video or found it helpful, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.